Here's Coach. We'll have Kerwin, RJ, and Walker Kessler after Coach.
Hey guys, before I talk about the game for a second, can you guys hear me? Okay, I just got stopped by Leonard Hamilton, Coach Hamilton out in the hallway. I saw Leonard this morning during his practice, but these things that are coming up for him in the National Hall of Fame, Leonard Hamilton deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a good friend. He's been a friend for a long time. When I was starting out at North Carolina, he was at Kentucky. But what he's done in his record, and I mean, guys, more than likely he's going to win the league again this year, second year in a row. It's hard. There's 15 teams in this league. That right there is really, really hard. And he lost 2 or 3 guys that were drafted, 2 I know at least in the first round. But he came back again. He's playing 10 or 11 guys all the time. He is a Hall of Fame coach, and I feel very honored and blessed to call him a friend. But we got lucky today. They didn't do what he normally does in the second half, but that's a Hall of Fame coach out there, and I hope that works out for him in the voting because he really deserves it. People always say, well, look at his record early. He didn't have basketball schools or anything like that, but he made every one of them better. So other than that, and I do love Leonard, but I love my team more. No question about that. I told Bubba and Steve, we were walking over here, it reminded me of the Florida State game. When I was coaching at Kansas, I was watching it on TV when Carolina made the big comeback in the second half. But first half, we were about as ugly as we could be, 25% from the floor, 14% from three-point line, turned it over a million times. And I told the team if we'd go out in the second half and get a score, we had the ball to start the half, let's score and get one stop. And then score again and get one more stop, we'd be right back in the game. And I really felt that way. I thought that the little push we made at the end of the first half was big to get it to 10, and I was ticked off that we gave up that basket at the end of the half to make it 12. But I thought those guys that were in the game at that point gave us a lift. And so we did. We got 2 scores and got 2 stops, and then they had a couple more turnovers, and so we got more than the 2 stops, and we kept scoring. Walker Kessler was the one big guy that I thought was positive in the first half. So we started him in the second half, and I thought he was sensational. I think I was really, really discouraged at half because we only had 2 assists. We ended up having 9 in the second half, so it was 9 out of 16 baskets. That's the way we're supposed to play. But the first half, their pressure was so big on us that we stood. RJ and Caleb, our 2-point guards, had 0 assists. They kept dribbling the ball sideways, east and west, but I think Walker was huge for us, to say the least. Caleb was much more effective putting the ball in the basket in the second half, 6 for 6 from the foul line. Kerwin 4 for 4 from the foul line, 14 out of 14 from the foul line in the second half. But I just think defensively we were a lot better in the second half, and then I think also they turned it over, and that helped us. But I think making the free throws, and we got fortunate too because at Florida State, they make 26 out of 27, and today they missed some key free throws in the second half that helped us.
Brendan Marks, go ahead.
Hey, Roy, congratulations on win number 900. You mentioned Walker was sensational. What was working for him today? And this game is obviously his best yet at UNC. How have you seen him grow since he first arrived to be capable of doing what he did today?
Well, I think, guys, what people don't realize that this young man had 2 14-day close contact quarantines, and he never tested positive. And that second 14 stretch was the 2 weeks right before practice started. And so he missed that time right before practice started. And in Asheville, one game I put him in, and we called a play, and he looked at me like I was talking Chinese. And he's so great a kid. He cares so much. I mean, he cares so much he beats himself up. And I think that we've tried to get him out of that. If he misses a shot, he's still thinking about it 5 possessions later. So been trying to get him out of that. His knees have been giving him a problem. I told him he might still be growing. But you take away what he's done from that point to now, he just got a bad start to our season. Okay, missing 14 days right before we start playing is tough. And at that same time, his shot wasn't going in as much as it used to, and he started worrying about that. But I love kids that worry. They show you that they care. And this is a kid that cares. And you look back, and I don't know, you guys got the stats, his last 4 games or 5 games, he's gotten a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and he deserved the time. And Garrison was struggling. I got mad at Garrison for missing the box out and put him right back in, and Garrison had given the tired signal. And so when he was ready to go, he goes back in, and Walker Kessler understood immediately. And I think that then when I put him back in again, I took him out one time because he was tired. But I just love it for the kid because he beats himself up, but he cares. And again, I've said many, many times, give me a kid that cares. That's a kid that's going to really get better. So to answer the question, he's been getting better. Today, the pace of the game early, up and down, the guys were finding him around the basket, and he's a great finisher. And even on the inbounds play when he knocked in that 10-foot jumper. So I just thought he was phenomenal for us. And on the defensive end of the floor at the end of the first half, he was one of those guys in there that had at least 1 block and maybe 2 during that stretch as well. So I'm just as happy as I can be for him. And he's one of those guys that I always say, do the best you can because you never know when you're going to be called on. And he was called on today, but he's been called on the last 4 games as well. I think he was big in every game we've been in the last 4 or 5 games.
Thank you.
C.L. Brown.
Roy, how much can a win like this serve as a springboard, especially coming off of the performance against Marquette?
CL, I don't know. I mean, think about it, guys. God almighty, I would have thought last week's game against Louisville would have been a springboard too, and the daggum diving board broke, and everybody fell in the pond. But I think the guys appreciate how hard they had to work on the defensive end in the second half, and I think how going to the free throw line and making the free throws are things that they're going to remember as well. So I'm hopeful, but yeah, we've got 4 or 5 hours to enjoy this, and then tomorrow we got quick practice and get on the plane and go to Syracuse. The schedule's been a difficult schedule for us, and this turnaround quick like this has been something that I've seen coming down the road, but they'll enjoy this until about midnight tonight.
Andrew Jones.
Coach, the dribble drives were a bit of a problem in the first half, but not as much in the second half. What did you guys do differently to keep them from having that much success driving to the basket after halftime?
Well, we were a little better covering the basketball, but close to the end of the first half, RJ got beat on the drive, and the guy goes all the way to the basket, and we had Caleb and Anthony on the right side. And at timeout, I said, guys, you got to get involved. You got to come in and help. So the very next play after the timeout, the guy did the same thing. And Anthony came in and helped, and then Walker Kessler came over and blocked the shot. So we had people trying to guard, not just one guy trying to guard the ball and the other 4 guys watching. First half was not good defensively. It was so ugly. It was ridiculous, but we were better in the second half. But also we caught Florida State when they missed some shots, even missed a dunk, and like I said, missed a couple of free throws. I like 49 points in the second half a lot better than 29 in the first.
Adam Smith, go ahead.
Roy, I know you want to win every game you play, but given the way the first half had gone with just all the problems in it, you're playing the best team in the league probably, and it seems like you're just kind of drowning in things. To be able to turn it against that team and to do what you did in the second half is, I guess, is there an extra satisfaction just the way you won this and the way you went about getting out of what you had dug yourself into?
Adam, it could be. I don't think too much in those terms, but I do know that in the first half, I thought they were 3 calls that I didn't really like, and all of a sudden my team is complaining on every call. And my gosh, I look at the video board, it was an illegal screen that Amato caught. Dayron did hook the guy. And so I had to get on him about those kind of things. But that, I think, in the second half, we just played. You can't control what the other team does to some degree. You can't control what the officials do. So you got to play. But I thought that we showed our immaturity in the first half, blaming everybody else instead of being accountable. And, I was sure that some of them were wrong. Maybe the tape's going to show me. But that I told the officials, hey, you guys, even though I disagreed with 3 of them, I thought they were all 3 wrong. I made 33 mistakes. My team made 33 mistakes. So they weren't nearly as bad as I was in the first half. But I do think we showed some immaturity in the first half and showed some maturity in the second half.
Luke DeCock, go ahead.
Roy, we ask you all the time when your team misses a bunch of free throws what you're going to do to fix it. Did you do anything this time to get the free throws dialed in, and can you get some confidence from making those in that key situation?
You know, Luke, I do think you get confidence making free throws when crunch time is on, when there's a little bit of heat. We put everybody in heat and every day at practice, and we do it every day from the free throw line. And we did it a little bit more, I guess, yesterday's practice. 2 weeks ago, maybe before, I forget, 2 weeks ago we shot 300 free throws, and I told you guys that two guys shot 79% and everybody else was way above 80. Guys, we shot 300 again this week. 83 was the lowest percentage. We had 7 guys to shoot over 90. And so we are good free throw shooters. We just got to be able to do it when the bright lights are on, the cameras are on, and that kind of thing. But I do think that this should give them some confidence. But we put them under a little stress from a free throw line every single day. If they miss, they get an opportunity to run more or those nice things like that.
Okay, we got time for a couple more. Hunter Nelson, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Congrats on 900. So for a team that's as young as yours, they sort of came out sluggish in the first half, playing in front of fans for the first time in the Smith Center. What were some of the adjustments you think they made in the second half, and how do you think the fans impacted the game?
I don't think we came out sluggish because the crowd was there. I think we came out sluggish because Florida State hit us right in the mouth, and we backed up. We didn't handle the fire. We didn't face up to the fire. We got more timid and started, as I said, trying to blame other reasons instead of taking responsibility. I tell you, it was 3,200 or 3,400, whatever it was. It was the best 3,200 crowd I've ever seen in my life, or 3,400. I can't explain to them enough how much a better atmosphere it was. I can't explain to them enough about how helpful it was. And I've never lost a game because of the crowd. But today they helped us win this game because they didn't give up. And I think that I was thrilled for them. I'd be thrilled if we'd get back to a more normal place in our world. I hope we don't start opening things up too quickly and start seeing those spikes come back up with the new variants around. And I watch it every day, guys, every day. I got more knowledge than probably on this stuff than all you guys in front of me there. But the crowd was sensational. It was fun being back in that environment. I didn't even care one time. I was yelling out what play I wanted them to run, and they couldn't hear because the crowd was so loud, and that was a neat deal. But I love our fans and have for 18 years, but this one will go back in my mind to be a game that I'll remember for a long, long time.
Jacob Turner, go ahead.
Hey, Roy, I know you're not big about, talking about personal accomplishments and whatnot, but I got to ask, what does it kind of mean to you to pick up your 900th career win today, and just what was that experience like for you?
Guys, I've said it before. I'll look back on it one of these days and say, hey, that was pretty neat. But I was focused on one thing, trying to help this team get to 15. And we laid a bad egg a couple of days ago, and I wanted to bounce back desperately. I told them I wanted them to have that desperately focused attitude that I'll have. It's neat, and I appreciate all the players that have ever been involved in those things, my assistant coaches. I've had the staff. For 33 years, I felt like I've had the best coaching staff in the world, and I believe that every day. But it was nice, but I wanted to get them into the locker room so we could act like a fool when Steve Robinson and Steve Kirshner, and I really didn't want to do anything. But it was nice, and like I said the other day, though, 69 is not a round number, but I appreciated shooting 69 more than I did 70. And if I had dropped dead walking out before the game today, I would have still had 899. That's not that far from 900, so it's okay.
Okay, Kiara Luck.
How's that for an answer?
Let's not have that.
Sorry. Well, yeah, he kind of took my question out from me, Coach, about your 900th win. But I just wanted to talk about, again, the significance of this team and, what do you hope to kind of carry throughout the remainder of the season and, push for that extra hype going into the postseason?
Well, our focus will be solely on Syracuse. I want them to enjoy this until midnight. An old friend of mine that just passed, Marty Schottenheimer, always said you can enjoy the game to midnight, and then after that you got to look on to the next one. But I want those kids to enjoy this. I don't think there'll be any videos or anything about our guys out tonight, anything at all like that. They will enjoy this. Now we got to move on. but I'm going to enjoy it to midnight myself. My two oldest grandsons are here, so I'll get a chance to see them for a few minutes before they head back. And I want them to enjoy this game, but to understand Syracuse has got to be our focus. And college basketball's tough. I mean, bam, bam, bam. And the ACC's tough too, because you look at our last three games, it's Florida State, first in our league, at Syracuse, Duke, who's probably playing as well as anybody in our league. So it's a difficult schedule, but let's enjoy this and then focus our tail off on Syracuse and see what we can build on.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
We'll get the players in shortly.